Hiya, it's me again. As promised, I'm posting my true life books that I've bought so far this month. I'll start with the one I'm reading, which is Crying for Help by Casey Watson. It has 312 pages and is of normal font, text size. This I picked up on a deal in Asda's for £3.98, which is quite good because it's normally £6.99. It's my mum. I think she's dead, Sophia cried. She's fallen down the stairs, I think, and there's blood. She's very cold. Minutes later, an ambulance arrived and took Sophia's mother to hospital. Sophia was just 10 years old when she made the call to emergency services. She'd had a friend over for a sleepover and woke in the morning to find her mum covered in blood at the foot of the stairs. A short while later, she was taken into care. Casey Watson is a foster carer, very similar to Kathy Glass. Her books are not quite as good, but still good. The girl when she takes her into care, Sophia's 12, although when reading it you will think she is about 15, 16, maybe older, because of the way she acts and dresses and things. I definitely recommend this book so far, so it's a new one, pick it up, let me know what you think. If you finish it before me, please don't tell me what happens. The next book I bought was a special. It was £6.99, knocked down to £2.80 in my bargain bookstore. It's by David Leslie and it's called Mummy Take Me Home, A Mother's Tug of Love Torment. It's written from a man that has followed this story and is friends with the female lady, the female that this book focuses on. It's called Mummy. It says, "Mummy, take me home," sobbed little Jasmine Chapman as she was ripped from her mother's arms. But there was nothing that Morgan could do except continue to fight for custody for the child she loved so much. When their relationship ended, Jasmine's parents argued bitterly about her future, but they were unable to come to an amicable agreement, and a UK court ruled that the case be heard in the US, the home of Jasmine's father. Fearing that she would lose her child, Morgan fled from Texas with her daughter, only to be hauled back in shackles and incarcerated in a grim American prison. When Morgan was eventually freed and awarded custody of her little girl, she thought her nightmare was over. However, back in the UK, every move she made was watched and every mistake recorded. Morgan sunk into deep depression and became lost in the haze of alcohol and drugs. The once beautiful and desirable young woman found her life spiralling out of control. Eventually, she lost the daughter she fought so hard to keep. Mummy Take Me Home is the gripping and disturbing true life story of a tug of love that no mother should ever face and no child should be forced to endure. The next one I bought was Call the Midwife by Jennifer Worth. I was recommended this book by a friend, which I did put off. Watched the TV series and enjoyed it. So I went out and bought the book, which I hope will be just as good. Page numbers. So an appendix and a glossary, but the actual book finishes on page 319. This I also picked up on special in HMV for £5. And the text is of normal size. It says, life in London's East End in the 1950s was tough. The brothels of Cable Street, the Cray brothers and gang warfare, the meth drinkers in the bomb sites. This was the world Jennifer Worth entered when she became a midwife at the age of 22. Babies were born in slum conditions, often with no running water. Funny, disturbing and moving, Call the Midwife brings to life a world that has now changed beyond measures. So that I hope will be quite good. The next one I bought was W.H. Smith's Deal of the Week, £2.99. Trafficked, My Story by Sophia Hayes. There are 304 pages and the text is normal size, and it says, "This is what you're here for." He spoke clearly as if explaining something to a slow-witted child. You are here to help me repay this debt. I will find you a place to work on the streets. It's a sacrifice anyone would be happy to make for someone they love. When Sophia Hayes was 24, she went to Italy to visit the man who would become her best friend. They spent an idyllic weekend together, and Sophie began to realise that she had found a man she might be able to love and trust. But as she got ready to fly back to England, everything changed. Cass became violent as he told her of his intention to force her into prostitution, and Sophie's world collapsed. She wasn't going anywhere. Relentless, gripping and utterly terrifying, Trafficked is the story of how a British girl was forced into the dark and dangerous world of the sex trade and how she survived. If you've read any of these, please let me know what you think, so I know whether to pursue reading them. This one's called Devil's Child by Jerry Quinn. It has 277 pages and text is of normal size. It says, deserted by his mother and abandoned by his father at just 3 months old, Jerry Quinn was sent to live in a Catholic children's home run by nuns of the Order of the Sisters of Nazareth. Life soon settled into a rhythm, and then one day the beating started. Harsh, vicious punishments become part of everyday life. From the bemused little boy as the nuns attempted to beat the devil out of him, Jerry began to hide his distress behind a mask of cheeky defiance, and at the age of 12 he was sent to a boarding school for boys with behavioural problems. It was a chance to start again, but then his housemaster, the man whose job it was to take care of him, began a regimen of mental, physical and sexual abuse. After years of self-hatred and guilt, Jerry tried to hang himself, and that was the turning point. Finally, he had found the courage to go to the authorities, and when numerous other victims came forward, they were instrumental in the conviction and imprisonment of their abuser. Devil's Child is the devastating true story of a childhood destroyed by abuse, and of a young man's struggle to try and come to terms with the past and believe in the future. Terrible. That I also picked in WH Smith's $2.99 offer of the week. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, if you've read any, please give me your comments and tell me what you think of them. And thank you very much for watching. Bye!